In the report of the executive for 21-22, Auditor General, what was your opinion?
Thank you, Chair. Report of the Auditor General and County Executive of Meru for the year ended, that is June 2022. Report on the financial statement, it was a qualified opinion.
It was a qualified opinion. You have already taken us through the issues that are standing and the issues that have been resolved, but we agreed that there's something that we must point out. That is the under statement of receipts and payments, the issue of other payments. Now, Governor, there is a practice that seems to be unique to Meru, where in this financial year, 2 billion out of 10 billion, which is 20% of your expenditure, was just described as other payments. Ideally, the expenditure of a county should go to salaries, should go to use of goods and services, should go to acquisition of assets. But when you say other payments, it might sound very miscellaneous. But you cannot have 20% of your expenditure being described as miscellaneous. If you look at your statement of payments and receipts, 2021-2022 other payments was 2 billion Kenya shillings. 2020-2021 other payments was 1.7 billion Kenya shillings. Is this practice recurring even in your tenure as governor? Do you still continue to put upwards of 2 billion shillings as other payments?
Thank you, Chair. The practice is not recurring in our tenure, but the Chief Officer is here, can explain because we have able to report.
Chief Officer?
Chair, in reference to the financial statement for the financial year 2022, I have seen where the 2 billion is. It's not recurring because when we had disclosed that amount, there was an appropriation in aid to 4 institutions. One, we have an institution by the name Kaguru ATC that and been issued with the appropriation in aid. We had AMS Mitungu, and the third one is FIF for hospitals. Chair, currently the ATC, Kaguru and the IMS, we have created a fund. So it is auditable now independently. It won't recur from financial year 2023, 2022-2023. It's not recurring. FIF the same. There is a repeal bill in the assembly, so that now it becomes a fund. The FIF, it was a fund, but we used to report as the county executive. But from this financial year, they are going to report independently, so it won't appear in our.
Chair, you know, we are following that table, that page 27 of the Auditor General's report, where you find note 8 on that amount of 2 billion shillings.
Yes.
You have explained Kaguru ATC, which is only 16 million.
Yes.
AMS Mitungu is 10 million. FIF is 277.
Yes.
There is still a column there that says other expenses payable from previous financial year, which is actually the bulk, 1.6 billion shillings. So whereas you can explain Kaguru ATC, AMS Mitungu, FIF, there's a column there that just says other expenses 18 million, and then the bulk of the 1.6, which should be the biggest interest to this committee, it just says payables from previous financial period. Do you have a breakdown of those payables?
Yes, Chair, I can provide. It was payment for pending bills. You remember during that time, there was a directive by the Ministry of Finance, National Treasury, for counties to clear the pending bills. So in that year, we were actually forced to do a supplementary budget and declare 70% of the pending bills, which were pending.
The pending bills would relate to roads, would relate to goods, would relate to services.
Yes.
So they need to be broken down to the expenditure of the chart of account lines that they relate to, instead of bulking them up.
Chair, this was just a disclosure. The auditor and looked on all the pending bills that.
Even not the auditor, that's why there's a constitutional requirement for you to come to the Senate. Senator Onyonga.
CEO, you say, what's your name?
Charles Mwanda.
Charles.
Yes.
Did you understand why we are asking the issue, why this other payments issue is important to us?
Okay, the reason why they are disclosed separately. Okay.
Again, you are not answering my question. Do you understand why the question of the payments being made under other is critical to us?
I guess it's an issue of materiality.
Thank you. So the question then I'm asking you, if we are asking you, and the way Honorable Sifuna has said, the other 2-3 items which have been in that other payments are explained. How then could you have 70% of the payment, which is 1.5 billion, not having its line items so that we are able to know actually where the money was spent? And indeed, that's the query they have got for you. You understand where we are?
I understand, Chair.
Thank you.
And just to answer that, for the pending bills were not budgeted cumulatively under one line. They were budgeted on the respective departments.
You are again missing my point. You already know, and we already know that those are pending bills. We are not questioning them. And we know where pending bills are always stashed and kept and domiciled. What is it that you put into this? If you say it is pending bills, why did you put it under other and not initially just saying these are pending bills and they are worth 1.6 billion?
Chair.
Order, just a minute. Senator Lulo.
Chair, can I tell the CEO that what we are saying, you are hiding certain expenses under that other expenses, which should have actually been enumerated. Is that clear to you?
It is clear, Chair, but we are not hiding. In fact, we are even disclosing.
You are hiding. Why do you lump other expenses at the cost of 1.6 billion? That is the question.
And before you respond, Senator Sifuna.
You know, we're trying to help you. You sound like a fairly knowledgeable person. If you're on that same page, CEO, if you're on page 27 of the Auditor General, it's just below that table. The Auditor General is telling you to provide explanation as to what each component of other expenses relates to. So, have you provided to the Auditor General those things you're telling us? Those explanations. Have you provided to the Auditor General a breakdown that totals the amount of 1.6 in financial year 21-22, that she can actually look and say, this is a pending bill for roads, this is for supplies, this is for, and this is the contractor that was paid. So that you are not telling us stories. Let your documents speak. Where are those documents?
Chair, let me request my end of financial reporting to answer that.
I think it's only the governor who can do that.
Now, order. It is a chair to direct any person to speak. This is not your meeting. It's not for you to decide who speaks.
I'm sorry, Chair.
And the person who took the oath is the governor. Governor, you must take charge. If someone needs to speak, that request must be made through you.
The end of financing to assist our chief officer. Thank you.
Can you, Senator Mariam, raise the question first so that you respond?
Chair, the preparer of the financial statement is Charles Mwanda, which is the chief officer, with his part number 2191. And Charles, when you are answering question, you answer as a layman. So, as a professional accountant, answer the question under other expenditure, miscellaneous expenditure, if it is materially, because it is 2 billion materiality. So don't, I think the person who is supposed to answer is you. You cannot even delegate to another person because you are the preparer of the financial statement and you know the explanation. You are just answering as a layman. So come clear and answer the question properly.
Is the Chief Officer Charles, are you Charles Mwenda?
Yes, Chair.
You are the one who prepared this financial statement?
Yes, Chair.
So why do you need help from somebody else?
No, Chair, I needed him to clarify where the schedule is. But Chair, what I wish to say about this, we provided the schedule on pending bills to the auditors. Because Chair, even these pending bills, the ones that we are paying, and previously been audited by the Auditor General after a directive by the National Treasury to clear the pending bills which were audited and declared eligible bills. So that is
when you have pending bills,
yes,
what you call account payables, there are staff payables sometimes. In this audit report, there are unremitted NHIF and NSSF deductions. That becomes a staff payable, isn't it?
yes,
When you pay that deduction, ideally it should affect the compensation of employees, isn't it?
yes,
When you have pending bills, some of them are due to contractors for civil works. That should affect acquisition of assets. You have pending bills to suppliers of petroleum and paper. Perhaps those would be use of goods and services. That is our concern. That when you go and lump up 2 billion as other payments, then the control of budget or the parliamentary budget office is advising us on whether you are fiscally responsible. So looking at this statement of receipts and payments, what was your percentage expenditure on development?
30%, Chair.
How do we see that 30%? Show us. Because your acquisition of assets was 1.4 billion out of total expenditure of 10 billion.